Donna's, you're at the Golden Gate
Donna's-
Bridge, and I'm just 30 miles from there.
You want to meet for coffee?
Yeah, I'll meet you there.
Okay.
How's it going?
It's going good. How are you doing today?
Good. Yeah, I'm at my mom's in Walnut Creek, California, and
Yep.
be here till Monday. So for tonight, I didn't have a specific topic, but I have something that I can share. But I just wanted to see if you guys have anything that you need. If you have any questions, I'm happy to do that. And then I thought I would just share with you my screen and show you all the tools that I use.
Okay.
Many of them, we've all gone over, but I'm just going to kind of give you an overview.
How's your deal flow, Michael?
I haven't turned on my marketing till I'm going to get back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so then I'm going to turn it on, and I'm working with Gabriel, who's in Nigeria. He's going to help me with some of my probate leads in Escambia County where I am, and he's going to we'll help each other with that niche right there. But yeah, I got to turn my marketing back on, but get some more going.
Yeah. Constantly, right?
Yeah, it's constant. It's constant. I'll probably do another mailing, maybe about 1,000 pieces. Do that, do some calling, and what have you.
Speaking of probate leads, you can't see this. I have like 12 pages of probate leads with about 40 probate leads on each page. But
Oh,
you
my
gotta
goodness.
sift through them. It's a lot of work.
Where did you get the list?
I got them from one of my coworkers who owns a We Buy Houses franchise. And he gave me all these probates, but I noticed that a few of them, I mean, there's a lot on here. A few of them have already sold, so it's not all 100% current information. So
Yeah,
it's time consuming to go through it. I wish I could get something that was like,
yeah.
that I wouldn't have to do so much work with it.
And when we pull them, sometimes the kids it's already gone through probate, and the kids already have the property. So we're marketing to the kids that inherited the property. And
That's
then
what you want to do.
yeah, and then sometimes it hasn't gone through probate.
And you can help them anyways.
And when we do it and hasn't gone through probate, what I like to find is how many kids they have. If they've got 18 kids and 3 of the kids are deceased, and now you have to find the kids' kids and see how extensive the process is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
sometimes for a $10,000 property that is so extensive, and finding people that are out of the country and kids that have kids, now you got to deal with them. And there's so many, sometimes it just doesn't make sense for a $10,000 property. So the ones that are real difficult like that, I do properties that were probably 50,000 plus. So those ones make sense. Paul, how you doing?
I'm good, Michael. How about yourself?
Good to see you.
Likewise.
So before you hopped on, I was saying that I'm traveling. I'm at my mom's house, and so I don't have a specific topic tonight. So I just wanted to see if you have any questions, if you need help with anything. And then I thought I'd just share my screen and show you all the different tools that I use. Most of them that we all use, but there's a few other ones that I can just share with you as well.
Perfect. That'd be great.
Yeah. But Joshua, do you have any questions or need any help with anything?
Right now at the moment, I can't think of anything that I need answered, but I am just following along with your class in your library.
Right.
I'm just picking up all the gems that I can. And
there's a lot in there. I saw you tried to log in about an hour ago, but anyway, here we all made it.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Gabriel, you have any questions?
Yes, sir. I think I came across a lead today I would like to discuss, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just looking at the $100 lead in Carlo County. So I came across.
In which county?
Carlo County in Florida.
Okay. Is it something you want to share, or what would you like to do? Okay.
I would like to talk about it and also share it.
Okay, I'm going to let you share your screen. Okay, you can go ahead and share your screen. It's loading. Okay, so they got the property in 2024 for it shows $100.
that $100, 2024, but it's a fed MLS lead. He tried to sell it a while back. Excuse me. Let's take this one side.
You're going to have to turn your volume up a little bit.
Can you hear me now, sir? Better?
Barely.
He tried to sell.
It might be your internet connection.
Better now. Can you hear me, sir?
Now I can.
Okay, sir. So he tried to sell this lot for $15,000. He listed it on the 3rd, 17th of March till the 17th of June. He just took it off the market, the MLS, about a few days ago.
Okay.
So he's an out-of-state owner. He's an out-of-state owner, and his name is Curious Raymond. He's back on tax for 2024. So I was just thinking, lots are selling here for 17 down up to $20,000. So I was
Okay.
just thinking I could reach out to him quickly before maybe someone else does, and I wasn't sure how much I could offer. This is what lots are selling for here.
You
These
got
are
to
the
figure out,
comps
you got to figure out
right
what you
here.
can sell it for, and then you have to put it in
So
a property.
average $17,000.
Okay.
Some
Well,
go for 10, 5,
you can't
19, 21, 23.
go ahead and show me the comps.
Now he's back on tax, $560. Okay, here are the comps, sir.
Okay, I don't see them.
Can you see it, sir?
I can see your screen, but I don't see any comps. Gabriel. Gabriel, I can't hear you. Gabriel, can you hear me? Anyway, Gabriel's in Nigeria and the internet connection's not very good. So, maybe he'll pop back in. Sadai, how you doing?
I'm okay. How you doing?
We're doing good. But as you just popped in, I didn't have a specific topic tonight. So it was just anything you need help with, if you have any questions. And then if we wrap that up, I'm just going to share my screen, show you some of the tools I use. Some of them may be ones that help you and maybe not. But Gabriel's trying to hop back in. See, we're pretty fortunate here that our internet connections are typically pretty good.
Yes, sir. Really.
Okay, Gabriel, share your screen. And I couldn't hear you at the end, and I could not see the comps.
Okay, these are the comps here, right here. Can you see the screen, sir?
No, it's loading. Okay, there they are. Okay,
Yes, sir.
where's your subject?
This right here, where my cursor is.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so the yellow ones are the solds, correct?
The sold, yes. The sold.
Okay, so I see 15, 9,600, 21, and where you see the two 21s next to each other, they probably paid
Yes.
21. They probably paid 21,000 total, not individually.
Yes. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I see 17, 20, 9,600 looks low. 17, I would just kind of, a guesstimate right now would be it's worth about 17. He tried to sell it for 15. I wouldn't offer him more than $10,000.
Yes, this is a lot right here. This is the neighborhood right here.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So I was just looking around $10,000 to $12,000. He lives out of state. He lives in New Jersey.
Okay, I would just contact him and make an offer.
Okay. All right. So,
Yeah, I wouldn't make it too complicated. Maybe even start lower, 9,500. He's going to want to counter with you back and forth, and
yes.
all he can do is say no. Don't spend a day on this. Spend
Okay.
30 minutes on it.
Okay. Okay,
Yeah.
sir.
All righty.
All right, sir. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Anybody else? Paul or Sadaya, Michelle, if you guys have any questions, I didn't have a specific topic, and otherwise I'm just going to show you some of the tools I use, but anything you might need help with.
For me, Michael, just, this is just for me, but yeah, I'm good. Just, I'd like to see some of the tools that you're using to see if there's anything new that, we haven't seen before. So that would
All
work
right.
for me.
All right, I'm just going to share my screen. Bear with me. And I'm not going to open them all up. I'm just going to briefly go over them. Let me know if you can see my screen, okay?
We see the Zoom, so I'm assuming that's your
Okay.
screen.
But
So-
anyway, right along the top here, Zoom I use obviously. PropStream, I've been using it pretty much for about the last 5 years. The appraiser's website in the county, IDI Corp, I use that tool. It's $1.75 a search, but I use it before I ever make an offer because I basically do a background on the seller. So it runs bankruptcies, liens, judgments. It shows me their criminal history. Do they have business licenses, business affiliations? And it will give me emails, phone numbers. And if I need to track down the relatives, I can find all the relatives and track them down. So when Gabriel was on here, you can use, I'll show you a free skip tracing tool as well, but sometimes I'll just use IDI Corp. This is the clerk of the courts. And usually I'll run someone's name and I can find everything that's recorded in their name. So it's, again, part of the background right there. Tax deed sales. These are delinquent taxes. I can pull a list of everyone that has delinquent taxes in my county. This Florida tax auction site, I could go ahead and search Florida and give me the appraiser's website, the clerk of the court's website, the planning and zoning and all the things. But now they started charging $85. So I built a custom ChatGPT that you can just enter in a county and it will pull all those for you automatically. So I use ChatGPT quite a bit, Facebook, obviously, and Kajabi. That's the tool that I use. That's where the course is hosted. People use it to host their courses, collect payments and what have you. Pebble is a CRM that I use. And with all these tools, as you're getting going, don't start signing up for all these tools. Keep your expenses as low as possible. But I just want to show you some of the ones I use. Obviously, email. I use here Perplexity. You can get it for free. This is a great tool for research. And the information I get back is pretty accurate. And then if you want, you can also do what's called deep research. I think you can do, I think you get 3 a day or 3 a week. I'm not sure. But
Can you give us an example of what you would use Perplexity for
Yeah.
instance, please?
AI for real estate land flippers. And the brief search is really quick. But I also use this for Facebook posts. But here it's just how is AI transforming land flipping real estate? And it's just going to go ahead and give you a summary here, right here. And it's pretty quick. And that's an example, and it's very quick. If I want to do what's a deep research can take up to a half hour. So it's going to go really deep and come up extremely comprehensive.
So it's kind of like ChatGPT.
Yeah, but I think it goes way deeper.
Oh, wow.
So here, probate process. And this is just the very basic what I'm showing you. You can put in files in here and it will go ahead and do those. So, but here's a probate process for Escambia County. And just so quick. And types.
Yep.
The summary one here, it's $75,000 and it's a very quick process. It can be done sometimes in 2 weeks. That's if the state's worth under $25,000. And if they died within the last 2 years, you have to give notice to all the creditors. If it's over 2 years, that doesn't have to be done. But very, very quickly, it gives you all this information, but you can go much deeper with it. And it's a great tool. It's free. It's a great tool. You could have it do some of the stuff you may pay an attorney to do, and it would just do it for basically instantly for you. So I would just bookmark that one, get on there and play around with it. I also use it for Facebook posts. So if I do all this deep research here, I just copy this right here. And then I go to ChatGPT and I have Alicia, my newspaper reporter. And I just take what I had from Perplexity. See if I can put this in here. And then I created this news reporter, and I told her to be fun, humorous, a little, sarcastic.
Sassy.
Yeah, sassy. And so it will give a summary of everything she writes. And then I just take something like this, and I have her picture, and I just copy it, and I just put it in Facebook as a post. So in Facebook, we have this group, AI for Real Estate Investors. And I created this just kind of playing around. There's 410 people in there. But here's one that it did. Just on AI is eating real estate for breakfast. Here's what land investors need to know just within the last month. So very quickly, we'll go ahead and create content for you. So I use Perplexity, Pebble, CRM, and then over here, Redfin and Zillow. This is cyberbackgroundchecks.com. It's free, and they're going to try to upsell you to another product, but I put my brother's name in here, and it gave me a cell phone in about 30 seconds. Longhorns, that's just a place we go eat. YouTube, I don't use Zapier. This is the planning and zoning. I have the whole guide there. So I'd suggest if you have a county, go ahead and download the planning and zoning guide so I can see how it's zoned and what's allowed under those. And it's pretty extensive. Perplexity. And some of these other tools are for marketing that I have a VA that uses it. And with some of these tools, it can create a fake me, and it'll create content that looks and sounds just like me. And I use Land Portal that is right here, which I've been using it for about 2 months. It's pretty good. I find it's best if I want to find lots to subdivide. So it's a great tool because you can put in there how much road frontage you want. So I would want probably, if I wanted to subdivide, I'd need at least 100 feet of road frontage. It will do that. And some people use this here, Public Records Online. And this is just a good way to search and find out what records a county might have that are available, a quick link. So that's kind of the overview of the tools I use. Some I use obviously more than other ones. What I use most is PropStream, Land Portal, and my county appraiser records. So maybe you end up, you saw one or two other ones you may want to use, cyberbackgroundchecks.com for skip tracing. And Gordon was the one that told me about that.
Yep.
So since I didn't really have a specific topic, I just wanted to answer your questions, see if you need help with anything. And I just figured I'd show you some of the sites I use, but do you guys have anything else you might need help with?
Yes, I have a question.
Why, certainly.
Yes, can you go back over one more time the like how to pull up the expired listings for the MLS?
Let me share my screen again. There are a few ways to do it, but I'll start with PropStream. And one tool I didn't show you, I actually have the MLS for the county that I work in PropStream. And some people use PropWire. I don't know if PropWire is free. I don't know if you can do it in there, but I'm going to put in Pensacola, Florida. And now I'm just going to filter. Vacant land. And then I'll go to MLS. And I want to put show all. I want to search for failed. These are people that tried to sell it. And typically I go back from, and this is just a guideline, I go back from about 3 years to 8 years. And the reason I do that, I don't want to call someone, Gabriel's going to work on one, but I typically don't want to call someone that just tried to list it and it didn't sell. But what I put in here, I'll go back from 3 years to 8 years. About 2017 to, I'm going to go back about 3 years here. And then I also put in here days on the market. I don't want to typically go after one where they only tried to list it for a day and they changed their mind. So I usually put minimum here, at least 40 days. And I can go ahead and put in, you know, size of the lots and what have you, but I'm not going to do that. But right here, I just pulled 15. And so here's 15 people that tried to sell it and they failed. But what I also want to find out is maybe when they failed, they turned around and sold it last year to somebody else. So I need to make sure out of these 15 that they still own the property. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on one. And we can see that, these people have only owned it for 7 months. So it did fail 3 years ago, but they subsequently sold it. So I want to make sure it failed and they still own it. So I can do that. I find it, you know, if you have access to the MLS or if you can have a realtor pull it for you, here is MLS. And I'm not going to go through the full process, but this is my MLS. And oh, this is a page, Donna.
Yeah. Yeah, I liked her. Very nice.
Yeah, but I'll just go on here and do the same thing. Search, you know, my search criteria and search for expired MLSs. And a lot of times I find if you go directly to the county or directly to the MLS, you're going to get more results than if you go straight through PropStream. But an example, I'll show you an example of one here.
I wish there was a service where you could get them all over, all
Yeah.
states.
But here's an example of a failed MLS one here, if I can remember the name of the street. Okay, this property right here. Okay, we sold it to Glitz and Denham Constructions, Inc. But you can see in March of 2022, we bought this for $10,300 from the seller. In 2019, she tried to sell it on the MLS and it failed. And that just came from that failed MLS list. But what happened she tried to sell it for $10,000 in 2019, it failed. So I saw that and I called her up, I skip traced it, called her up and I offered her $300 more than it failed at and she accepted it. Well, while we were under contract, I immediately started looking for a builder or a buyer. So we owned the property for 3 days and we made $15,000 on it. And that's a failed MLS listing. But that's the reason I go back 3 to 8 years, because when I bought it from her, I had 3 years of appreciation. But you know, we have so many niches, and you know, I'm working with Gabriel and he's focusing on one niche and I've got 14 of them. And sometimes I'd market to all of them, but sometimes you might just want to focus on one or two, just be laser focused instead of trying to do everything. So that's an example of the failed MLS ones right there. Again, working with Gabriel, we're going after some of the probate ones. It does take a little while to do research done. I know you got a very big list. So I just wanted to, answer some questions, show you some of the tools I use. Great questions, Sadia. But do you guys have anything else?
Yes, I have another question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you said you can ask a realtor to give you access, or how would you go about that?
Well, I wouldn't just call up a realtor and do that. You really have to have a relationship. And I've got a great realtor, and I said, would you be willing to hire me as your assistant? And
Oh,
so realtors can, I don't know about all counties in the United States, but they can have assistants, and then I can get access. And so it's a great tool for research as well.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but don't just call one up and when I've done it before, I said, I contact a lot of people and I can't reach a deal with them. And I call the seller and say, I know we couldn't reach a deal. I said, I know someone else that may have buyers for you, and that could be a realtor. And so when I have a conversation, I said, if I can work as your assistant, when I get people that won't go ahead and sell to me, would it be okay if I refer them to you? And now they get the listings.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're providing them with value. You're getting them listings as well.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I just talk to the seller and I say, we couldn't reach a deal, but I know someone that has buyers looking for what you have. Would it be okay if I have her call you and just put them together?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Michael, have you ever heard of the tool called Price?
Yes.
PRICD? What do you think about that?
I used it, but it's been a couple years, so I probably can't give you a great opinion with it. I'm not using it right now, and the land portal is good for pulling comps and what have you too. But sometimes they're just looking at statistic, kind of like an automated valuation model. They're looking at statistics and coming up with the value. They might not know if it's on a busy street. Does it back to a lake that's desirable? And it can also be way off.
Sure. Okay. Well, I just wanted to pick your brain on that. Thank you.
Yeah. I think in week 1, I did a video on priced.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right.
All righty. Well, anyway, I appreciate you guys. My mom's sitting right here to my left.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Mom.
Yeah, she's watching me work. I'm her entertainment.
Awesome.
So,
Michael, is there class next week? Is it 4th
Yeah.
of July?
oh,
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that.
I think it is, right?
My goodness. I'll let you know. People may
Well,
want
it's
to.
July 2nd. Yeah.
Yeah. I get back the 1st. No, I get back Monday. But I'll go ahead and post it if anyone, has any questions. It'll be probably pretty casual.
Hey, Michael, I have a question real quick. I know that you want us to mail out our leads, like let's say we're doing the auction for the tax deed. Do you also recommend cold calling them?
Yeah. Sometimes, I like mail if I can do more bulk and, I'll get X amount of responses. But sometimes I just like calling because I'm communicating with them and we're communicating back and forth. When I send a letter, sometimes I get no feedback. So I'd go ahead and call.
All right, awesome. Yeah, because I was kind of just sitting on my leads and I hadn't gotten any call backs. So I went out of my way and I started calling some of the leads. And I only got one guy who was interested. He wanted too much. I actually just saw today that because the county that I'm working in right now, it just did an auction and they ended up losing the property. And I kind of just started going through all the properties just so I can see which ones were redeemed, which ones were sold to the, just so I can talk myself back into like, hey, like this isn't so scary. Like these people
Yeah.
really don't have much to lose because they're going to lose the property. If you just tell them something and they say no, it'll still work out in the end because they're probably going to lose the property anyway. So, but I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I've been really thinking about it.
And it depends how far you want to dig. And we did a process that was extremely manual, but we went back to all the auctions and we went back 10 years and we looked at all the people that redeemed their property. And then we had to check one at a time and see if they still own it. But the thought process was they were in that situation once, they're going to be back in that situation. So that's one of the niches that I market to is people that redeem their property within the last 10 years. And we follow up with them.
One last question. How long would you wait? I mean, let's say, because I mean, some of these people just redeemed today or yesterday. Would you recommend me still trying to reach out to them, like even though they just redeemed?
I would just say that's a personal preference. You know, I would probably wait till it seasons a little bit more. You know, but they if they just redeemed, they just had a pain point. They just had to write a check for maybe 2, 3, 4, or 5 years of back taxes. But I'd go ahead and just give it a trial. You know, go ahead and do 25 of them and just see how it goes.
Yeah, I appreciate that too. Also, you're like, because I mean, I was watching some of your videos and some of them you said do 10, and then in another one you're like do 5, and I was thinking to myself like that's really not asking a lot. That's actually pretty easy. It's
Yeah,
actually really cool. I go to the redeemed and I'm like, hey, I could do these leads real quick.
Yeah, and you know, it gets you more comfortable talking on the phone. I know a lot of people don't want to do that. You know, I don't want to talk on the phone, but eventually you just get over it and it's no big deal. And if they make a face at you, you know, just say, well, I appreciate your time. Thank you. And just move on to the next one.
There has to be another saying that you have. You know how you have the elephant in the one bite at a time. There's got to be another one where you're like, hey, you know, like that little burn and sting will melt off during the next call. You know, because I've gotten that. I really have. Where like somebody has hung up on me, I tried calling them back because I heard that as a technique. You know, if they hang up, you just call them back instantly and say, hey, it looks like we got disconnected. You know, so it's like, okay. I was at first I was like, oh man, they hung up on me. I'm not going to call them back. I'm never going to call them back. But it's like, why? You know, why am I so scared to pick up the phone? They just hung up on me. What's the worst that they could do? Hang up on me again?
Yeah, I've only had a very few rude people. You know, when I mail letters, occasionally you get one back and someone writes something not nice on it. Just move on. It's just like anything.
I got a voicemail today where the lady said not to call her again. She said, please stop bothering me. I'm like, okay. Well, you should have
Jeez,
just thrown it
Donna.
away. You made a phone call to tell me, don't bother me.
Well,
Whatever.
we started about 35 minutes ago and I didn't have a specific topic. So we've just been doing some Q&A. This is being recorded. It'll be processed probably tomorrow and in the library. I showed all the tools that I use. There might be 1 or 2 in there that you're aware of or not aware of. And then just answer some questions in general. Said I had a couple good questions. Joshua, Gabriel, and anyway, Paul, Donna.
Awesome.
So if you just came and I told everyone that my mom's sitting next to me, she supervised me today. We're entertaining each other. So
Good.
thank you.
Donna, I'm gonna need you for that one property that I told you about. I'll
Oh,
call
for
you later.
MLS? MLS? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody needs MLS in Massachusetts, I'm your girl.
All right. But I know you just came in. We're going to keep it a little short tonight. We're working together over here, my audience. And if you
Oh,
need,
Mama.
yeah, say hi.
Hi there.
Yeah. So anyway, I appreciate it. Shoot me a message if you need anything.
Have fun.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thanks,
you,
Michael.
sir.
Bye, guys.
Thank
Yo,
you.
Good
God
night.
bless.
All righty.
Bye.